Google's become a verb in the American language when people are looking for information on the internet. You may use another search engine, but no matter what, sometimes it's hard to navigate all of the information that can be found on the internet. So today's tip is going to be on a few different helpful tools that might help you search and find information more efficiently. One of the most helpful tips about searching is to use quotation marks. For instance, if I'm looking for articles on high school reform and I type that into my search bar, here I can see I found 20,700,000 references to high school reform as I type that in. One of the simplest ways to reduce the number of hits that are returned when you type in criteria is to put a phrase like high school reform in quotation marks, because without those quotation marks, Google is searching for each one of these words individually. So it's finding all the words on high, all the words on school, and all the words on reform, versus putting them as a phrase and only looking for things on high school reform. So I'm going to try my search again, this time after adding quotation marks. And you can see it narrowed my search still to a mere 247,000 hits on high school reform in quotation marks, but significantly fewer. And then you can see I see 1 of 10 results on the first page, but there are several pages. If I scroll down, I can see several pages to be looking at on this topic to be able to see my 247,000 hits. Another way to further refine your search is to add additional keywords or limiters, and I'm going to type the word research. So if I'm just looking for research on high school reform, I still want to leave that phrase in quotation marks, but if I add the word research, Google defaults to saying and research. So it's going to limit those topics to just the ones that are research on high school reform. If I click search again, now you can see it further limited my results. Still tons of results, but nonetheless kind of limits that, and then it will categorize those in this list, and I can scroll through and see what my results are. Something else that's helpful once you've found some links to be looking at is to use the cached version of those links, which are really kind of like a saved version. So if I click on cached next to this link, the difference really is that this article, within this article, the words that were in my search criteria, in this case high school reform and research, are going to be highlighted throughout the article, so I can more quickly skim through that article to find what I'm looking for. And sometimes this is just a faster way to look for the specific information within the articles when you have lots of hits to be reviewing. A couple other helpful tools in the toolbar for Internet Explorer are up here along the top. Of course, there's the back and forward buttons that can allow you to page back to a page you were just at, or forward to a page that you were at previously. Or you can use this little drop-down arrow that's recent pages, and this actually stores all the pages you were visiting. So for instance, instead of going back 3 times, I can jump back those 3 steps in this list and go to a page I'd previously visited. As opposed to this arrow, which is in the URL or address bar, if I click in here, then it shows the main sites that I was at, but not the individual pages within them. So I can jump back to other sites that I've been visiting recently. And that actually is stored over time, so it's in my history versus just this session. And then this button right here is my refresh button. So for instance, if I went to a page that maybe is changing frequently, so I want to see the updated changes, or if I go to a page, sometimes the graphics on the page might have a red X through them, and that maybe just is a really kind of a fluke connection with the internet that didn't draw in that image. If I click on the refresh button, it'll actually just redraw the page that I'm currently on. So if I'm having trouble with a website, sometimes that refresh button fixes that problem. And then the other button here, this little X, is a stop searching button. So if I went someplace or I clicked on a button and it's taking a long time to get to that page, or if I can see, oh, I made a mistake and I didn't want to go there, I can simply click that stop button and it'll stop that search, and then I can re-enter an address or select a different spot to go. So just some helpful hints on using Internet Explorer for searching.